Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. Today is going to be a super quick video as I show you how to make a comfrey salve. So basically it's a two-step process. So we're going to start this video by saying that you need comfrey oil in order to make this. So in order to do comfrey oil, you have two options. We're going to take our dried comfrey from our garden, and to dry the comfrey, you either just let it air dry or you can use a dehydrator until it is dry. You're going to want to fill up a mason jar 3/4 of the way with crushed comfrey leaves, and then cover it with any type of oil that you choose. So olive oil, canola oil, avocado oil, whatever you'd like to use. And you would let it sit for about 3 to 6 weeks and let it infuse. And that's exactly what I did. We're going to shake it every day. And that's a simple oil recipe. If you wanted to do it quicker and you had a little bit more time on your hands, in about 24 hours, you can make it in the crock pot. So you would basically do the same type of method, 3 cups of the crushed comfrey leaves and a cup of oil, and you would throw that in the slow cooker on a very low setting and let it stew for 24 hours. But I ended up making it this way. It's been sitting in my cupboard for about 6 weeks, shook it every day. It's now infused and we're ready to make the salve. So basically, this is called the broken bone medicine. People have literally put it on their broken bones to help with pain and healing. I'm using it in my house for arthritis and back pain, shoulder pain, things like that. So you're going to need a cup or 8 ounces of comfrey oil, no matter how you have gotten that, and 1 ounce of beeswax. The other thing you would like is some sort of essential oil or fragrance oil to use just to get that earthy smell. So comfrey is a very, very like grassy, earthy smell. And so no other reason other than maybe some skin benefits or the smell would you be putting the essential oils in. We're using lavender as kind of a comforting smell. But the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a double boiler. So I've got my water in a pan and a metal bowl, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to put this on high so that this goes into a boil. But at no point do we want our mixture in here boiling. You typically, when you're making salves and ointments and stuff like that, tinctures, you don't always want to, unless a recipe specifies, bring something to a boil, because you don't want to boil out the medicinal properties in whatever it is that you're making. So I don't want to go ahead, I need it boiling down here to warm it up here, but I do not want to have this boiling and boil out all of the infusion in here. So I'm going to strain this out until I get a cup or 8 ounces of liquid. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the pot on top of the double boiler. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that 1 ounce of beeswax. You can use pastels, you can use the brick. I use the brick. And we're going to go ahead and throw it in the top as well. And at this point, we're just watching for the melting of the beeswax into the oil. Again, we don't want it to boil, but we want that beeswax to be completely melted in there. So that's going to take a couple minutes as this double boiler gets to temperature. Go ahead and watch it, stir it along as you need it. And while that is going on, we're going to get our containers ready. So the small mason jars, I think they're 125 milliliters. These make for a great option for storing them. I have my calendula salve in here. But these are great for recycling and reusing if you wanted to keep doing them in here. Another option, and what I'm going to be using, are the tins. So there's many different places you can get those from, but I'm going to use the tins specifically because I'm going to share with family and friends and possibly sell them. So we'll leave those here and we will continue on over at the stove. So as you can see inside, almost all of that beeswax is melted. Once it is, we can then add our lavender oil or whatever essential oil. If you're not adding anything at that, once it's done and melting, we're cool to just take it off. If you are adding it, you're going to want to turn off the heat and then just let it sit for just about a minute and then add your oil. We don't necessarily want the oil heating up and losing its properties as well. So as you can see, all that beeswax is now melted. I'm going to turn off my stove. I'm just going to move this over right off the heat for just a second. And then I'm going to add 10 drops start of your essential oil, and it's all going to depend on what oil you're using, how strong it is, if it's a fragrance oil or a straight essential oil, that will dictate the smell. But you're going to want to add 10 to start and then smell it. If you want more, you can add more, but don't dump a whole bunch in because you can always add, you can't take away. So let's start with 10. And then once you've done that and mix it around, you can smell it and then make your judgment call. That's going to be all based on your preference and how strong of a fragrance you like. And it's now at this point you're going to want to use an oven mitt or anything you have, or a towel, just to make sure you're not touching this hot bowl. And we're going to pour it into our containers and we're going to let it sit and harden in the containers. And it's at this point, once you have them in your containers, if you want to add a little flower, a piece of lavender, or some sort of decoration, if you were selling them, now would be the time to do that. I'm just going to keep mine clear because I don't really necessarily want anything in them. But you're going to let them sit on the counter for a little bit until they harden up. I will show you what that looks like before we go. But that's just as simple as that. And here is our Comfrey salve. Just simple ingredients right from the garden. And now we can go slather it on our arthritic knees. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.